listening to the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.
Fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ooh.
Good evening, and at long, glorious last, welcome to the 31st Lap. This is the 20-something edition of this show. I don't remember what it was. The count last week was
24.
Wrong. It's gonna. Thank you for that. Thank you. This was
in
still,
theory.
This was still the intro, John. This was still the intro.
Hey, you asked.
That's the earliest John's ever talked.
I know. No, John's getting into it now.
He's ready to go. He's pumped up.
You heard John Bomas. I'm Chris Marquardt. With me this evening, Mike Mallett and Rich Post. Thanks so much for coming to you live from the lavish FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls. Already got the tongue twisters in the way, so we're right on pace. Yeah. Joining us in studio later on tonight, well, not in studio, but on the phone that Rich is going to hold up to the microphone, is going to be...
Our sophisticated method of interviews.
Go and get
Steve Poirier, winner of the Methanol Meltdown from up to Fulton Speedway, and they're also going to be talking with Larry Wight. We're going to be catching up with him a little bit later on. First, let's get the rough news right out of the way. I'm sure Mike can tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah.
Let's just do it, get it done.
Yeah. Well, obviously, those in the racing world know we lost a true fan of racing this past week. A good friend of mine, good buddy John Balmus. I think all of us here knew him and saw him at the racetrack. Tom Ames tragically lost his life in an accident on Monday morning. So that was the hard news to deal with this week. I knew Tom a long time. Him and I were friends from the Fire on Dirt days of Dirt Track Digest, which feels like forever ago now. I mean, it's been a long time. I met Tom on the message boards when he was a moderator. I was a moderator back when, when Dirt Track Digest was just taking off. And through the years, we weren't necessarily best of friends, but we always found a way to stay in touch. And John and I were talking about Tom on the way out. He had no concept of the time factor. He was so dedicated to racing. It was unimaginable. Every one of us that knew him, we all say the same things. I mean, he eat, sleep, dreamed, talked about racing. That was his life. That was all he did. And there was a point there where he didn't necessarily have the funds to go racing, but he still found a way to know what was going on. And if he had to call you at 3 a.m. to find out who won somewhere, he didn't care. It would be, it was funny. It could be Wednesday.
And it didn't matter if you did.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It could be Wednesday night during the week, and, he'd call you, hey, Mel, who won at Middletown on Saturday? I'm like, John, or Tom. I go, it's 3 a.m, bud. I got to work in the morning. He goes, I was just wondering, and then he'd want to talk racing, and it's sad, Him and I were just talking the other day, he was helping out with the new project that Chris Papa's working on, and he was helping out there doing Twitter stuff, and he was so excited to be able to help out with racing, to do something in racing. And if you read his last blog, the Right Track blog, he was so happy to be at Canandaigua, and the doctor won. It's just, it's fitting, that the last race he saw was that Andy Johnson was a winner. That's who he,
got to be in victory lane with him.
Yeah, and that's the photo everybody has used of Tom. Yeah. So it's been a tough week. It's always hard to lose somebody. It's always harder to lose somebody like this. It's just like him and I were talking. I was dumbfounded. I mean, the only reason I knew when I did is John texted me when I was at work, and I ended up looking on the website, and I was just blown away. I mean, you didn't expect that. Like I said, I was talking to him this weekend. We were talking about who's going to win on Saturday at Fulton. And he was retweeting my tweets, and then he was tweeting to me. Like, I think Chuck Keating's going to get. And it's just. It's just sad, man. It's hard to talk about.
I've had a rough week myself.
Yeah, it's been tough, because you just, again, you might not have been best friends with a guy, but it's a guy you always could show up at a racetrack and you could talk to him for 3 hours.
Absolutely.
And it didn't matter because he loved the same things we do. Yeah. I mean, he loved racing.
He was just, to me, he was infectious. He always had a
always
big
happy
smile on his face.
Yep.
As long as he was at the racetrack,
he didn't care.
In a good mood. It didn't matter.
And
we take it for granted sometimes. We all get miserable. We bitch about this and bitch about that.
Yep.
They didn't do this right. They didn't do that right. And that dude was
he had
happy.
his moments where he would criticize, but the thing about Tom was he always had a solution or something he thought ways to make it better. You know, and again, if you read any of his blogs, you go back. It was always about, if you're going to complain, have an idea or give the track some idea.
Yeah.
And he was the first one. He complained about rolling wheels and some things that were going on there, and he was the first one to thank them when they changed something.
Right.
And you don't get a lot of people like that, and there is no doubt that this sport is going to miss Tom. All he did and all the time he put in, all the effort, and us personally, we're all going to miss him. Most people have read what I wrote on Dirt Track Digest and stuff, and yeah, the calling hours are Saturday. The funeral's on Sunday. For information about that, obviously, you can go to the website, DirtTrackDigest.com, go to the forum and take care of it. And I do want people to know that something will be done in Tom's memory. All of us at Dirt Track Digest, we've talked to the family. We're on board. The family's on board with what we decide to do. So something will be done later in the year. We're not gonna do it right away. It's not something that's gonna happen tomorrow. Right. We want to make sure we do it right when we do it. So that's in the works. So if you're wondering if something will be done in his honor, don't worry. We're gonna make sure we can do the best possible job that we can. So just have some faith, give us some time, and the family will know. Again, I've been in contact with his uncle and his dad, and they have complete faith in us because they knew, all they know is they knew Tom loved racing. They necessarily weren't involved in it nearly as much as Tom was. I don't think many people are, to be honest with you.
Right.
So
there's feel like him.
Yeah, there really is. So we'll be doing something. So rest in peace, Tom, and we're gonna miss you, bud. I mean, that's all I can really say.
Yeah, I did too. I contacted a family member and got the okay from them. I have created for the Fantasy League what I'm going to call the Thomas C. Ames Second Memorial 27th Place Finisher Award. The team that finishes in 27th place in the Fantasy League is going to win. I've got some money already donated by a few great people, and a couple people have already contacted me about some prizes, possibly Danny Johnson apparel, things like that. So the team will win those items that get donated. Whoever finishes in 27th place, that team. So I'm working on that as well, and hopefully I will be able to keep his name involved in my fantasy league, because to me he was a big help. He was one of the first people I went to when I came up with the idea to have the fantasy league, and he was a big help with a lot of ideas and suggestions of how to do it, because he had done a lot of that stuff in the past. So that's why I went to him in the beginning, and so I want to try to remember him and thank him for helping me that way. So rest in peace, Tommy.
And it's stuff like this where we really need a break. We need to
go to commercial
and then come back, and because it's hard to go from that into some of the news that came out of the Oswego Speedway this week about Davey Hamilton and Jarrett Andretti. I don't know if anybody's been keeping up on that, but IndyCar veteran Davey Hamilton is going to be part of the opening day lineup for the first time. IndyCar veteran and 11-time Indianapolis 500 starter Davey Hamilton is going to be in competition at the Oswego Speedway on the opening night in the Super Modified. He's run Super Modifieds there before. He ran his first event at Oswego back in '92 at the International Classic at the Nicotra Racing number 6. He's going to be in the Nicotra Racing number 6.
He's going to be a teammate to Otto again.
It's pretty cool. It's coming up on May 5th. That's not too far away. He's always been in open wheels and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
I think I'm going to go opening night.
Yeah?
I think I am. I've never been fortunate enough to do that. With my Saturday nights open now,
right,
to stay close to home, and that's why I did this, so I could go to places close to home and not have to travel and do all that.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to go. It's something I'm looking forward to.
He's got 6 top 5s in the International Classic, including a win in the 1997 edition at. He was driving one of Mike Muldoon Supers, and after his IndyCar crash in 01 at Texas, we talked about Texas and opened the show. Oh no, it was Vegas. Vegas, we opened the show earlier. Same kind of situation.
Yeah, I know.
One of those cookie cutter tracks.
Yeah,
with Dan Weldon. Put his racing career on hold a little bit there, but after that he came back to Super Modified Racing in 07, and he's been at the Classic for another 4 years, getting top 5 runs in 08 and 2010. So it's kind of cool that he's going to be up there at Oswego. And then Jarrett Andretti, another open wheel star. He's the son of Indy 500 racer, veteran, and Sprint Cup winner John Andretti. He's going to test the Super Modified sometime in May.
Oh, really?
I got an interesting connection to that.
All right.
His, I believe I saw it on my buddy's Facebook.
Let me see if I can guess the connection. You Twittered Dan Kessler.
No. Actually, it was on Facebook. A friend of mine lives out in the Midwest, and he's been crew chiefs on Indy cars. sprint cars, wingless cars, you name it.
Everything.
He's pretty much crew chief on it. Well, I believe, if I saw correctly, he is going to be Jarrett Andretti's crew chief this summer when he's running wingless sprint cars.
That's cool.
So
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I got some connections, John. Don't worry in the wingless area. All right? I got some connections out there. So
Wingless sprint cars where?
Indiana, I believe, because that's where he's from. He's out there. Last time I saw my friend, he was working for Darren Clayton as his crew chief, but with the wing car.
Oh,
that's when I sponsored the car.
Yeah,
the year was the year you went.
The camera on
I put the camera on the car. Yeah, that was my buddy. That was his crew chief at the time. In Knoxville, we were in an in-car camera, and Darren did a blog for us every night. And I sponsored the car, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, he's going to be the crew chief for Jarrett Andretti when they do some stuff in Indiana and places like that. I'm not sure if it's dirt and pavement, but it's kind of neat.
Yeah,
and I'm sure I'll have a chance to catch up with him and see how
now
things
you
are
got to
going.
go.
Well,
yeah. Well, it's scheduled for May 8th, which is the Tuesday after opening weekend, and he's going to be driving Pat and Terry Strong's car, which last season Joey Payne was in. We had Joey on before.
Yep.
And Jarrett's no slouch. He's the Eastern Pavement Ford Focus Midget Champion, and he's got 5 wins. He's a freshman at North Carolina State University. He's doing okay.
Yeah.
He had a good year in the USAC Ford Focus Midget ranks.
And running open wheel stuff is probably something his dad can probably help him out with.
Yeah,
his
dad knows a little.
Just a little bit.
And if not, just get on the horn. I'm sure you can find somebody in your
somebody hanging out in the family tree's got that figured out.
Back to the Davey Hamilton thing. You brought up him running, Oswego. Mm-hmm. The last couple of years he's been back at Indy. The Indy 500 entry list was released today. I did not see his name on there, but there are a couple of cars with TBA listed.
Mm-hmm. How many cars are there entered?
If there's any word, have you heard any word whether Davey's going to run again or not?
Now, how many cars are on the list?
There was 34, I think.
Oh, man.
34 entries.
But how sad is that, though? It's Indianapolis 500.
34 entered, and about 6 will make it that
The 6
far.
have a chance to win.
At this point, at least.
How many qualify?
At least there's going to be
30?
one for a
What do they start?
33.
33, so 1 car?
Yeah, that's the main thing. At least there's going to be at least right now 1 for bump day. It's better than not having any.
No, it's not.
But I'd rather have at least something.
There's some drama there of somebody not getting in.
And who knows?
Who is the suckiest car out of 34 cars?
We got a month, so who knows?
You never know. It could be bigger.
Yeah.
Who has the Indy 500 this year? Is it ABC?
I don't know. I don't ever watch it because it's on Memorial Day and I'm at a racetrack.
They do bump day, so that's going to be a riveting 6 hours of coverage to see which one of those cars doesn't get
Which one car will not be in the show?
Yeah, at this point, if all 34 cars go with a driver.
And one car is going to crash, so at least one car is going to crash.
And during the month of May, somebody could
you don't know.
out a car and be done
before
the race. Who knows?
Yeah.
So what John was trying to allude to
what I was wondering is,
about the Sam
have you
Schmidt
heard
deal,
anything
right?
about Davey was my question.
Nothing about
no
that,
news?
no. But Schmidt Hamilton Motorsports is teaming up to run the IZOD IndyCar Series, which is, I think that's kind of where you're starting to go with that. And
I know
time will tell.
I know it was confirmed that Brian Clausen will be running for Sarah Fisher. Of course,
nice.
Brian, he won a scholarship, $300,000 to run Indy by winning the USAC overall championship last year.
Wasn't it Indy Lights though?
That was 2010.
2 years ago, right? Yeah.
And he ran Indy Lights ovals in 2011.
Okay.
So the 2011 USAC championship deal was a scholarship to run the Indy 500 for help you with sponsorship.
Right.
And I guess things have been put together where he's going to be driving for Sarah Fisher, and he's on the entry list today. So that was good to see. I'm glad. I hope Brian does well.
One of the cool things about Davey Hamilton is he referenced Oswego Speedway alongside Eldora and Knoxville, some of the short tracks that have endured the test of time. They continue to be around there. It's kind of good company.
It's nice, and as we've mentioned every week we talk about Oswego, and it's nice to see Oswego coming back to that heyday.
Yeah.
And Danny's doing a great job up there. Did you get on the mailing list to get some of those videos?
I've been getting. I actually talked to Dan on Saturday at the Fulton Speedway.
Oh yeah,
we were all chatting afterwards, so it was kind of nice. I introduced myself. I think I've met him before, but
he used to work for Dirt.
Yeah, but you meet so many people when you go everywhere.
It's a revolving door.
Well, no, not just with Dirt, but in general. Come on. All right,
that wasn't good.
Good shot.
Next.
Oh.
What's next on the list?
Next on the list, it's you. Do some results.
Hey,
play
not until you play the music.
All right. I thought we were going to be able to get out of that one. Go ahead.
Nope.
record.
All right, here we go. I'll start with the pavement stuff that everybody is so concerned with. We'll start with NASCAR, the Samsung Mobile 500 Texas Motor Speedway. Greg Biffle picked up the series win. The Good Sam Roadside Assistance 200 at Rockingham, which was a pretty exciting race, actually. The truck series, it was Casey Kane picking up your win. National Series events, Lucas Oil, Late Model Dirt Series, Virginia Motor Speedway, the Commonwealth 100.
Wait a minute.
Scott Bloomquist.
Let me interrupt you quick.
Yep.
Bloomer come from a
talked about exciting and Rockingham and trucks, and then you took all the excitement right out of it and said Casey Kane won.
Yep. He started like what? He started last.
He started last because he wasn't there to qualify. He had to go to the tail.
Brad Sweet qualified the truck for him, and he had to go last. Came out through, so it was actually exciting.
I didn't watch it because I was watching playoff hockey.
He didn't really take the lead until like the last third of the race.
Yeah, last third of the race. So it was a good race.
But it was just, for me, it was just great to see a race back at the Rock.
Sure.
That
place is awesome, and it's so rough. Like they're bouncing.
And the tires wear.
It's
slide.
Yeah, and they're bouncing off the wall. That's racing, man.
Yeah.
Yep, 3 laps in your new set of tires. You get a caution flag. What do you want?
New tires.
The Saturday night race at Texas was freaking snooze.
Somebody put me to sleep.
Oh, my God.
Awful.
It was bad.
Yeah, Texas sucks.
They
go fast. They go like 230-something miles an hour, but who cares? They can't pass.
There's good tracks in Texas. That just doesn't
this ain't one of them. All right, moving on.
Go on.
The World of Outlaws sprint cars were at Paducah International Raceway in Kentucky. Joey Saldana picked up the win. All right, we'll go to our weekly things now. The Big Diamond Raceway. CVD. Craig Von Dorn picked up the win on Friday night. Bridgeport Speedway. Mike Barone, his first modified victory. Canandaigua Motorsports Park, none other than Super Matt Shepard. Delaware International Speedway, H.J. Bunning was your winner. 5 Mile Point Speedway, the Genoa Giant, Pat Ward made a visit down there, picked up the win. Fonda Speedway, Stu the Shoe, or Stuart Friesen, dominated by 9.9 seconds to pick up the win. We'll get back to Fulton
last week.
We'll get back to Fulton Speedway momentarily. Glenridge Motorsports Park on Friday night. Super Matt Shepard got his first win of the weekend. Grandview Speedway, I wonder who won there.
2 for 2.
Dwayne Howard picked up his second win. Lebanon Valley, Brett the Jet Hearn picked up the win. Lincoln Speedway, 410 Sprint Cars, Danny Dietrich. The New Egypt Speedway, give him 2 in a row for Billy the Kid Pouch. But good note, Billy Kid Jr.
Yes, Billy
the
Jr.
Kid's kid was second.
I guess he was a very close second, too.
He said the 31st lap was his good luck charm, by the way. For all those drivers out there listening that want to come on the show, yes.
Wait, he said that.
He texted to me. Yeah, we were talking.
You.
Yeah, we were talking.
He didn't tell anybody else that.
He didn't bother telling anybody.
Yep.
You're preaching to the choir, buddy.
Yeah, I know. At the Orange County Fair Speedway, it was The Rock, Chris Schultz, winning on the hard clay. Down at Selinsgrove Speedway, the 358 sprint car, somebody else finally beat Pat Cannon, and it was Mark Smith. Jeff Ryan won the late model event. Susquehanna Speedway Park, just figured I'd throw this in there because they had 410 sprint cars, and none other than Greg Hodnett.
That's why he
picked up the win. How about that? You like that, didn't you? Then we get down to the Williams Grove Speedway Friday night. It was Alan Crimes. And then Woodhall Raceway opened their doors with a sportsman event, and Dave Du Bois picked up the win there. And last but not least, picking up the win on Saturday night in the Methanol Meltdown Patriot Series Sprint Car Opener. It was none other than the driver out of St. Mathieu de Beaulieu, Quebec in the FM Industries. Foundation Catazone. Car number 28 FM, Steve Fireball Poirier. That is correct.
Fireball.
Nice.
Huh?
Yeah, that's his nickname, Steve Fireball Poirier.
You're going to drop that here?
Nah, I'm good now. I just want to get it out of me. I want to get the whole French thing out of me, so when I talk to him, I'll say it wrong, and then he'll make fun of me. So,
are you even allowed to talk about this? That's a Patriot race and everything?
We had a good field of cars there. I mean, there was 41 sprint cars there Saturday night, so that was a great field of cars. Good mix.
Yeah, it was.
All of our guys were there. I mean, it's the first race of the year in Central New York, so everybody wants to get out and shake down their cars.
Sure, and everybody loves Fulton anyway.
And Fulton's it's not a bad racetrack. A couple guys had some tough luck. I mean, the defending series champ, Jared Zimbardi, he got off to a very, very poor start. He got upside down in his qualifying event, and the Patriot rules only allow for one car to be used in a night. Ooh. So he had to fix that car, and unfortunately, he got it all back together, but something was wrong with the motor. They think they broke the crank in the motor when he got upside down. Ooh. So right now, all he said is, if that's what's broken, they're going to be behind. It's going to be tough. They're going to be behind the 8 ball a little bit. They built a new shop this offseason. They got a motor out right now getting redone, so they're behind. He was scratching his head. He was upset afterwards, so that was a real tough night for him. But, wasn't a tough night for Steve Poirier. I mean, Poirier came out, and he got it done. He had a great night. Good starting spot. Got up to the field past Tommy Wickham, another driver out of Costanza, New York. And then the Cobra, Chuck Keebing, finished in third. Brian Holland. And then the guy we'll talk to later, Larry Wight, he finished in fifth. So it was a great night out at the Fulton Speedway. Good crowd. And got to love sprint car racing, especially when it's only 15 minutes from home and not 4 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Well, we finally we've got him. We've called Quebec, and on the phone now, joining us here on the 31st lap is none other than Steve Poirier. Steve, how's it going tonight?
Hey, been good, and you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I can't complain. So you've had a few days for it to sink in. How good does it feel to kick off the 2012 season with a feature win?
Oh, that's super. When you could start on a good way like that, that's super fun.
Steve, what is it about Fulton Speedway? You know, the last couple times you've been there, we talked a little bit about it on Saturday afternoon, but you told me you guys have found something there, and I'll tell you, the last two times out, you've been nearly unbeatable.
Yeah, the last two times, the car was so incredible. You know, sometimes those sprint cars, they are so sensitive to adjustment, and you need to drive them comfortable. When you find something you like, you could reproduce it and normally be super good. Like we have a couple of racetracks where we're good, and probably the last 3-4 years we didn't race that much at Fulton, but we were not that good. Last time we changed the shock package, and as soon as I hit the racetrack, I was comfortable, and we won that race. We came back with the same thing, and car was good again.
How much has it helped your program having Kevin Lovey's there to help you out as your crew chief?
It helped me a lot because we had success before Kevin came with us, but we were just playing around my adjustment and staying with what I was using, what I knew. And we were kind of stopped there. We were blocked there, and with the business I have to run, I don't have a lot of time to try new things or call Eagle chassis to find new IDs. So when Kevin came with us, he helped us a lot on development. Even if my racing setup were good, I think if I would have stayed with them, probably now I would be chasing the fast guy up there.
Take me through that race on Saturday. What was the key to that victory? Was it just that you found that top side? Or, you know, I talked to Tommy Wickham after I talked to you, and he said he was running the cushion, and he couldn't believe that you went another lane higher.
Yeah, that's funny because my buddy Guy, before the race, he was joking that a couple of years ago we saw Danny Johnson run way high, making his own groove outside, and that we had fun that we were saying that Danny had big balls running there, and he kicked the ass of all the other guy that night. I was not thinking of that because obviously you need the car that wants to go there, and with my knee problem, I would have my ID was more of a safe race and more quiet race. But when I saw that they played a little bit with the racetrack before the feature, when I was on start, I saw that lane there, and I was starting outside. I said, "Oh, there. Even if I want to play it safe, probably the race for the first at least 10 laps." The track will be fast here if someone could ride there. Sometimes you try it once, and if the car bounces or pushes, you could not continue to go there because you're really it's dangerous to go to the wall and destroy the car. But I hit the first lap there, and I saw I was faster than Wickham. After that, I said, I think we'll have fun tonight.
So, Steve, you mentioned your knee problem. Why don't you take a second? I know the whole story, but why don't you take this opportunity to tell the folks listening online right now and listening to the podcast what happened during the off season with your knee and everything else?
Okay, in off season, normally I do snowcross. I don't race, but I'm it's my training program because I'm not motivated enough to go to the gym and work out. And I realized when I started racing sprint car that I need to be in better shape. So when we do 15, 20 laps on green flag, that I don't have to catch my breath and I could stay concentrated on the racing. So I do snowcross. And I think it's a good way also to stay in shape physically, but with reflex, and you control the machine. And this winter was no good because we didn't have that much snow. I only did once. I tried my machine once. I had a brand new Polaris 600, and maybe I started a little bit too fast. I tried to do a triple jump, and I had a bad landing, and I broke my knee. And at first, it looked like it was a simple fracture, and I would recover rapidly. But we found after that I have the ACL broke, and the two meniscus are torn up. So I will need surgery. I still don't know when. And so that was bothering me a little bit Saturday because I don't have all my strength in my left leg. We do a lot of joke that we don't need brake to drive race car. We're going to go faster, but sometimes it's not true. You have to be safe, and it helps you control the car. But the car was so good that it didn't change anything. But that's the problem is for this summer. I don't know when I'll have the surgery, what kind of racing, what part of the season I will lose because of that.
Steve, you're a guy that started in modifieds, and you were one of the best drivers that come out of Quebec in the modifieds. What made you decide to go sprint car racing, considering how much success you had in modifieds?
After a while, racing here in Quebec, every Saturday and Friday, we won a bunch of races, championships, and I had fun doing it. And we were super good in big block modify, and that was what I liked. Doing big block modify. In Quebec here, they switched to small block modify, and I don't only do the racing for competition. It's also the pleasure of driving the machine. And I found with small block modify that it was not as fun for me because you're not dependent of the engine of horsepower. I prefer to have more engine than you need and control it. So when they switched to small block modify, obviously I was not really happy of that. I was looking at Alain Bergeron that was doing great job racing sprint car. The ESS were visiting us once or twice a year at each track, and those cars look super fun to drive. So we decided to make the switch, and as soon as I try it, first time it's a little bit impressive, but it's so much fun to drive. I tell often people that sometimes, next weekend we'll race Can-Am. Just before the race, even to think of driving the car for warm-up is make me happy, or I know it's going to be fun. The pleasure of driving the car is incredible. After that, you need to find a good adjustment, race good, but only driving the car is super fun.
How happy with all your accomplishments are you in sprint car racing? You know, you have done a lot. You know, you've won 3 ESS championships. You know, I believe you're second now on the all-times win list. How happy are you with where you are, and where do you see yourself going? Do you want that all-time wins record with ESS?
I'm really happy with that situation. I didn't know when we started how long it would take to be competitive. I know we've been competitive everywhere we races, so I knew it was doable, and so the results are probably better than what I thought. I'm really happy of that. And for sure, I've always been thinking positive, and I think it's important to have success. So, and you need to have goals. So to stay kind of sharp or to stay concentrated and motivated, you need other goals. obviously, championship, we had some, probably it's not the main goal. Actually, like this year that we don't know if we'll be able to follow the entire season. But I'm really proud of being second all time to Mike Woodring. I don't know if it will be possible to get to him, but for sure now my main goal is to get wins and get closer and closer to him. And who knows, in a couple of years, if it continues to be good like that, we could be close to him and be chasing him.
Again, chatting with Steve Poirier here on the 31st lap. Steve, all the tracks that the Empire Super Sprints go to, which track's your favorite?
I don't have a preferred a track really that I could focus on, but I really like Can-Am. Grand Bay is a good track to me. Itch-Kerom, even if Eben kicked my ass at the end of the race, nearly every time here, I still do pretty good there. We had our first win at Itch-Kerom, so that track is fun for a sprint car also.
Yeah, he mentions Itch-Kerom, and to tell you a little bit about it, it seems like every time Steve's leading the race with like 5 to go, and then Cobra will come from nowhere and track him down and get him either on the last lap or the lap right before the last lap, the second to last lap. So that's what he's talking about there. Now, Steve, we know, you got the knee issue, but we know you're going to do as much as you can. And I'm sure you're looking forward to that, right? Just, being back in the race car. I mean, you mentioned on Saturday that you were a little nervous considering you didn't know with the medical issues this offseason how much you were going to be able to race. So it's got to feel good to know that you're at least going to be able to get a lot of the season in.
Well, yeah, for sure that was a real relief that I could drive the car even the way I was. And I changed my physiotherapist this week, and we had used some. She's harder on me, and she made me work out more this week. And I think I'm getting better and better. So we'll know if I feel super good. Let's say in 2 weeks, and I could push back my surgery. I'll look at it. I don't want to have consequences over the rest of my life if I don't do it correctly. So if the doctor say that we need to do it right away, I will have to listen to her. But if she said that we could wait a little bit, then I could get back to walking correctly and be recover to have my strength. Maybe it could change a little bit. And for sure, racing is always dictated what I do in my life. So we always do decisions in relation of the racing season.
Well, I know no matter, hopefully this doctor you can sneak one by her maybe and get back in the car before you're supposed to.
Yeah, I just hope so. One good thing also this year is we voted with ESS 2 mulligans during the season, so we could drop our 2 worst results. So if worse come to worse, we lose 2 races, and probably we could still be competitive. Probably it would be hard that way to win a championship, but if we were super competitive, who knows?
Well, Steve, we'll let you go, and we'll let you get back to doing what you got to do. But we just want to say thanks for coming on and supporting us here on the 31st lap. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you in a couple weeks out there at the, I should say a week from tomorrow, out at the K&M Motorsports Park for the Empire Super Sprint season opener.
Super, guys. Thanks for having me on your show, and have a good week.
All right, Steve. We'll talk to you later, man. So again, Steve Poirier. I love talking to guys from Quebec. I love it. And it's awesome to see the progression. I don't speak French at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
neither.
I know how to say a few things that I need to say.
Like what?
Like
drop it on me.
No, well, beer. I learned that, and I learned a couple other things that I'm not going to say on the air. So
why not?
If nobody understands,
because it's like any other language, you always learn the swear words first. So. Other than that, I tried to learn a couple different things. I can say kiosque de souvenir, that's a souvenir stand. But other than that, I got nothing.
I know how to say poutine.
Yeah, poutine. That is good stuff. That is good stuff.
That's all I need to know.
Anybody that doesn't know what poutine is, it's French fries, cheese curd, and hot gravy over it, and it melts all together. Oh, it's spectacular.
Yeah.
Spectacular. I don't care what it is, man. It's good.
What'd you say?
It's a Canadian
It's good.
plate.
So how about Steve Poirier racing snowmobiles or snowcross to stay in shape? Yeah. And he said he just landed wrong. It's just one of those things. He didn't fall off or anything. He just landed wrong on his leg, and that was that. But it was funny to see him win on Saturday and the look on his face. Like, you could tell he was excited,
right?
But it was different than the other things that he's won just because he was able to do it. Like, he wasn't sure going into Saturday night how good he was going to feel. How well was the leg going to hold up?
Right.
Was he going to be able to do it?
That was the first race since.
Yeah, that was the first race since. So, and then he was telling me he's changing doctors because he didn't like the opinion of the other doctor. So
the other doctor
going to get another second.
Well, the other doctor said, "Don't go racing," and he said, "Okay."
And then he went racing.
Yeah, he went racing. So it worked out for him.
Well, the luxury is he gets to sit down.
Yeah, yeah.
And
like you said, you don't need the break.
The thing with that is you just hope that he doesn't have an accident to hurt it more seriously.
Or hurt it more, yeah.
Well, and that's the real risk.
Knock on wood, of all the guys I've seen race a sprint car, Steve Poirier is one of the most consistent guys, and he'll put a sprint car in scary spots. Like, you're like, I can't believe he just did that. But he's always under control.
Right.
Sprint cars are meant to be driven out of control.
Right.
And Steve is just so good at hitting his marks, being on top of it, and just doing it every time. Yeah. Like Saturday, he made one move coming off the turn to get underneath somebody. I mean, there must have been an inch and a half between his right rear and the other person's left rear, and he had it. He put it right on through there and was fine. I've seen him do it at Mohawk.
Hey, we got a caller.
Oh, boy.
Hey, go ahead. You're on the 31st lap.
I miss you guys.
Oh, jeez.
You're talking sprint cars. I gotta be there one way or another.
Ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, this is a live call-in presented by AT&T. And
No, actually, I did it on my landline, so I can do a sneak call on you there, Mark.
No, I got your landline in my phone too.
Oh, he gotcha.
You know what's funny was, talking about Steve and his knee, I actually got a Facebook notification about 3 in the morning that Steve was in the hospital. And, of course, when your 3-time tour champion is in the hospital, you get a lump in your throat. And then to come find out, Patrick Vigneault also got hurt in the same snowcross meet. So I thought I might have lost 2 drivers in one night.
Yeah, Patrick Vigneault, for those that don't know at home, he drives the 55 car, and he just started running with us last season, so he plans to be at most of our shows here in 2012 as well. So there's another guy from Quebec. We got a strong Quebec contingent.
So what happened to Patrick?
I'm
not
sure.
Okay?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he was in the pits on Saturday, too, picking up his new hauler, so he's ready to go.
Nice.
So, Dean, you excited about, obviously, a week to go? We'll let you get your little plug in here for ESS.
I guess I got to say it, but I am looking forward to it. I mean, it's what you do in the off season. We got a little taste down to Fillions Grove, and we had a good trip there, even with the flat tire. But to have your official opener, that's the fun part. That's what you're waiting for.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait. I'm ready to get back on the microphone. It'll be the first time I've announced since last year. So, got to shake the rust off. I'm sure I'll make more mistakes than I normally do.
You've been on a microphone, though.
This doesn't count.
No, at a racetrack.
Oh, that doesn't count either.
I heard you.
Oh, where was that?
Sealands Grove.
Sealands Grove. Yeah, that doesn't count.
They gave you the mic for like 5 minutes.
5 seconds. He's like, here, talk, get off. Okay, you're done. They got to cut me off. You know how announcers are. We can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
No kidding.
So, yeah, see? I do good at it. Well, let me rephrase that. I do okay.
I show up here and run the board now.
Yeah.
the listeners are going, whose voice is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, am I the second official caller?
Yeah, you're our second official ever guest on the 31st lap, but the thing is, I think we've known both of them.
Well, by the way, since I've called in, your viewership went up 1 notch, so I think I need something for radio.
Yeah, hey, look at that. Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Reynolds. I'm glad you're watching your son talk on the cell phone.
2 more notches. I think I'm the key.
Yeah, it is bumping up. It's funny that you're watching it. He's watching it online as we talk, but I guarantee you there's a delay because we have that censor button here. We got to beep stuff out. You can't say it. Yeah, right. That's what I love about the internet.
Actually, the show, how much I love the show, I'm calling during my Boston Bruins game as well.
What's the score?
I'm not happy.
Yeah, what's the score, Dean?
It's 1-0. Capital scored like 50 seconds into the game.
What the?
Dino, are your Yankees off today?
No.
No, the Yankees are actually down 4-3 in the top of the second.
Oh,
High pitching defensive struggle.
Shucks.
Who's pitching? Phil Hughes?
Yeah. Who
No,
else?
jeez, he sucks.
The starting lineup for the Yankees is really making for Andy Pettitte to come up real quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, as we digress to a baseball talk show.
Yeah.
When's that start?
I got a bunch of crap last week because I wanted to open with hockey. Now
Yeah.
I'm fresh on hockey.
And baseball.
All
back to the racing.
And baseball.
And Dean, don't worry. Next week we have Billy Dunn on, so we will be able to talk sprint car racing again.
4-4, bottom of second.
These are live score updates presented by Empire Super Sprints.
Yes.
Oil.
Yes.
And the bill is in the mail.
Yep.
And I do want to say, and me and Mallet will be happy about this. Pat Ward helped us to jump up to Dick Dragon.
Oh yeah, the fantasy. I'm in the top 25 now, baby.
Where's your team now?
I'm running 19th, I think. Hammer time. Right?
Yeah.
19th?
Yeah,
Yeah, I moved up, man. I jumped way up there. Between Dwayne winning at Grandview and Pat Ward winning 5 Mile Point, yeah, I'm up there.
Yeah, I quit
That
looking.
helped both.
Where's Dino? Where are
Dino's
you?
only like 2 points behind me, right? He's right behind me.
Yeah,
Oh, there you
I'm
are.
right behind
He's
Hammer
20.
Time.
He's 22nd.
Yeah, so we're right together. We're running neck and neck.
5 points separate you two.
Yep, we're together. So we're getting it done in the fantasy league. Twin 20, number 2, we're coming after you. John Tiff.
Oh, he's dropping like a
yeah, he's going to
stone.
drop now. So
He already dropped
Actually,
a
no,
7.
I'm glad you guys got Larry White on. I mean, for 2 sprint car races ever and 2 top 5s, I think it's going to be fun to hear what he has to say.
yeah, I can't wait. Plus, considering the mishap he had, I don't know if you got a chance to read my column yet, or Bill Foley's column in Gator Racing News, but you can see the issue that he had. So we'll talk about it. I want to save it for when he comes on, but it was impressive.
Whose car was that?
That's his.
They bought that.
They bought that sprint
Because
car.
I saw a picture of it today. It was all decked out in gypsum colors.
We'll ask Larry this when he comes on, but we know, what do you say, 10 to 15 sprint cars races this year?
Yeah, I think he's looking to. I heard he's actually going to be coming to Can-Am because Fulton doesn't run modifieds yet. And then looking at all the Utica Rome shows, our midweek show there at Rolling Wheels. When they said 15 races, I'm like, wow, they're really planning on doing a lot of shows. So with his schedule locked in on Friday and Saturday, I was kind of surprised to see that number.
Yeah, we'll get him on here in a minute, and we'll chat with him. Rich is going to get him on the phone here. So,
Dude.
Exciting stuff.
The only thing that the gypsum stable is missing now is a midget.
They got everything else. They got a sprint car, a late model.
Yeah, they got to get a midget now.
Yeah.
That kid's going to the Chili Bowl in 2013.
Yeah, I know.
I said it here.
But, oh, man, it's
All
been...
right, guys, I just wanted to give you a call in because you're talking sprint cars, and of course,
Yeah, I know.
I got to chime in somehow, some way.
Yeah.
But keep the show going. I'm enjoying it.
All right, Dean, we'll
See you,
talk to you, man.
Dino.
Thanks for calling in.
Take it easy, man.
See ya.
Wow, we're coming big time now. We got live callers. We get
Live calls on our cell phones. We still have to hold up the microphone.
If we've got a minute while we're on the sprint car things,
Okay,
back to the results thing.
Yeah, he's got his useful.
The Lucas
His handwritten
Oil
notes.
The
Yep.
Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour was back on the road again this weekend. They were in Texas. Friday they were at Golden Triangle Raceway Park. Wayne
Been there.
Johnson,
Not.
yeah, Wayne Johnson took the win over Brady Bacon and Gary Wright. Saturday they were.
Is that why you wore your Brady Bacon shirt?
I wear it all the time.
I know.
anyway.
He's
Yeah,
sleeping that
that's-
thing. I think he loves that shirt more than his wife.
I've got enough of them. So
Yeah, his wife does not love that shirt at all.
No.
she's got a Brady Bacon shirt of her own too. She's got a hoodie too.
I don't want to know anything more about this.
Saturday they
That
were at
was the most
Battleground
special-
Speedway.
That was the most special anniversary.
That's what they gave each other for their wedding presents. Brady Bacon
We were on
T-shirts.
we got that hoodie on our. We got that hoodie on our honeymoon. As a
Yeah,
matter of
see?
fact.
Exactly. There it is.
In Vegas. No, Saturday, ASCS National Tour was at Battleground Speedway in Texas. Jason Johnson took the win over Brady Bacon was second again. Wayne Johnson was third.
I'll tell you what. When
No
you,
relation
When
there
you talk
either.
about those national tour events, it's always the same few guys that kick everybody's
There
butt.
are they have the follow the National Tour. The list of drivers to follow that is just it's crazy.
It's pretty neat.
There's
Is
a
Shane
great
Stewart?
field of
Is
cars.
Shane Stewart falling?
You know,
I've
Shane
heard.
won the title last year. He is not back home from Australia
Right.
yet to defend
Okay,
the title.
I know.
He's not
I've heard
running
he
it.
will be in Pennsylvania this weekend.
I haven't heard that. I know Wasatski's going to be.
I've heard that rumor, so I'm not positive. I saw that on my Twitter feed from
Did
one of
you?
my
I haven't seen that.
one of my people from Pennsylvania.
I heard
Because it is
Wasatski, though.
what is it? This the weekend's not this weekend. Next weekend. Next weekend is the Bob Weichert Memorial at Port Royal, and then plus they have the All Stars at Williams Grove and Port Royal. So it'll be you'll have all the All Star guys: Tim Schaefer, Dale Blaney, those guys, and
Paul,
then
I guess Paul Silva, his car owner, cut back So Shane stayed over in Australia because they lost Rockstar Energy Drink.
Oh, that sucks. That was the coolest looking, all black with just Rockstar on it. It was awesome.
And last year he won the national title, the LCS National Tour title.
You ever seen the Monster Energy Spring?
He decided to stay in Australia to run over there all season.
Yeah, well,
points.
why not? I mean,
so he won't be back here. I don't know if he's back yet. Still, I don't even know. The last I knew, he was still in Australia.
I'll tell you what. Last year at Knoxville, he passed more cars than anybody else in those 4 days. Every race that he was in, he started like 20-something.
So he almost won on Saturday, the final.
Oh, another 3 laps. He wins that race. I mean, it just took him an extra lap to get by.
That Paul Silva-owned team is
it just took him a couple extra laps to get by Sammy Swindell, but he was coming on Donnie Schatz. So it'd be interesting. Shane Stewart, he's a guy you watch for 360 sprint car racing, but
another guy that you're going to want to watch.
Yeah, another guy you're going to want to watch. Joining us now here on the 31st lap, and that is Larry Wight. And Larry, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Not too bad. I can't complain. I'll assume you're back at college now, enjoying the college student life.
Actually, I'm on Tommy Sears' dock right now fishing.
Now I'm jealous of that. That Yeah,
what
fishing.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? We're doing a radio show here, and you're on the dock fishing. That's a nice way to spend your Thursday nights. I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah.
I know we've got some different things going on here. I know you've got a lot of things coming up this weekend. Obviously, you got to be excited. Brewerton Speedway Opener tomorrow night.
Oh, definitely. We were starting to run real good over there last year and getting a good setup going, and then we just ran out of time. But I think this year we're really off to a good start, and we can hopefully finish a little bit better in points this year.
How tough is the weekly grind running Brewerton and Fulton? I mean, you guys have the best of the best that you're racing against. I mean, you got 2 of the best drivers that are on your team with you. So how tough is that weekly grind competing against those guys?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's the most competitive track anywhere that I've ever been to from the racing that I've been in. And it just gives us that much more credit compared to the Pennsylvania guys. There's so many tracks down there that a lot of the guys get spread out, and seems to be whenever we go down there, we're top 5, if not winning every race, like Pat and Billy this past weekend.
Yeah, they had great runs down at 5 Mile Point, the bull ring, if you will. Now, let's talk about this past Saturday. I know that's why we're kind of touching a lot on sprint car racing here tonight. You had a pretty good run on Saturday night, didn't you?
Yeah, we were real happy with it, I was giving my pre-race interviews saying that we should be able to pull off the top 5, and starting 15th, I was kind of worried I'd have to eat my own words, but we were able to go to the top when everyone stayed around the middle and bottom and get up there quick.
How nice is it to jump into a sprint car? Because basically, I mean, compared to running the other divisions that you've run, you have some pressure there. You're running for points. You're doing those different things. But the sprint car, it's got to be fun just to know you can go out there and race the car, and you're not worried about points. You're not worried about anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much why we got the sprint car. It's just to get away from everything and go out and have fun. It's they drive pretty much similar to a modified, just setting them up. You just do the exact opposite of everything that you would do because you're sitting on the left rear versus the right rear.
Now, tell me about late in that race. I know I talked to you on Saturday for my column in Area Auto Racing News. I had a chance to talk to you, but you had a pretty interesting final couple of laps, didn't you?
Yeah, we ended up having a piece of mud come through the hood scoop and get the throttle stuck wide open. And for the last 2 or 3 laps, and I was able to just hit the on-off switch through the corner so I can make the turn. But ended up coming out pretty good, a lot better than it could have been.
Yeah.
Heads up.
Yeah, that's thinking right there. Did you have a system down, like where you know when to flip the switch back on and get going again, or what was it? How'd you do it?
I just flipped it just before I got to the corner, get the car turned, and then turn it back on and try running the cushion. That was about all I could do.
It's funny. I read Bill Foley's column today in Gator Racing News, and he said before, I've heard him say it at Brewerton, that you'd make a good sprint car racer. Well, I'll tell you what, I think he's got it right. I mean, 2 races now that you've run the sprint car, you've had some 2 impressive runs.
Yeah, we've been top 5 both times, and we're happy with it. I think I was 4th last year in Doug Emery's car, and we ended up backing it up with our own car this year.
How important was it to you to go out and run like you did, considering last year, you started up front, and everyone was like, well, he started up front, so he should finish up front. How important was it for you to start 15th and to be able to come up through like that and show everybody, no, that just wasn't a fluke thing. That's how good we are in this car.
It's definitely good. I mean, with the sprint car guys, they really don't have a home track to race at, and they're just all over the place. So they can adapt to different surfaces real quick. And racing with like Jason Barney and Jessica Zemkin, who've raced at Fulton before, and I actually had a little friendly bet going on with Jason, saying that I was going to make sure he never beat me in a sprint car, and it was pretty neat to pass him, and I can rub it into his face until we go to Can-Am.
Now, you mentioned going to Can-Am. Now, you told me last week you got between 10, 15 races. What are some of the places people can expect to see you driving that sprint car?
Well, got Can-Am coming up, and we'll probably go to the Mohawk race. Down at Lincoln, we've got modifieds for ROC race, so we'll probably run double duty. I know Black Rock's got a race. Ransomville, the Oswego Sprint Car Nationals, we're going to try to hit that. And pretty much anywhere that doesn't conflict with our modified, we're going to go ahead and try to run it.
Are we going to see a Utica Rome at all when the SS visits?
Oh, yep. Forgot about that. And then the Brewerton, we're going to see if we can put together a 410 to go over there.
You ready for that step up? That's got a little bit more giddy up than the 360, so that's something, if you can get that done, that's got to be exciting to think about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone says that the 360s are real fast, but, compared to my big block, it feels like it doesn't have any power at all, You step on it with the 360, and it's got those big tires on it, and you're kind of sitting there waiting for it to get going compared to my big block.
Well, yeah. What's the schedule plans for the big block? You mentioned the big block modified. And we know Brewerton, Fulton. Where else are we going to see a race of champions, dirt car shows? Which one's it going to be? Or are you going to go to whatever's close and whatever you can fit in the schedule?
Depending on what Weed Sport does this year, if someone ends up opening it up or not, we're probably going to start at Utica Rome to see how we do there because the points are paying pretty good this year. And we're probably going to focus mostly on the ROC series because the dirt's going out to Michigan, and we're not really too thrilled about that. So we'll see how we're doing in the points, and but I highly doubt we'll follow the whole dirt tour this year.
Yeah, we know the home track points thing. Obviously tough for you considering your dad owns both those tracks. You kind of have to be there.
Yeah, without Weed Sport, you can't.
Yeah, it's tough to do without Weed Sport. That definitely makes it much more difficult for a lot of guys. Yeah. What about the late model?
If Weed Sport was opening up, we'd be able to do it because last year we ended up finishing third in points, and I think I probably could have won the point title there the way we were running just before it closed up. Because I think I was out of top 5 once, and we were top 3s every other time. That we were having real good runs, and it's just starting out in the dirt series, 1,500 points down compared to everyone. It's just you can't do it.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's almost impossible. Yeah, it's got to be impossible to do. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
What's the plans for the late model? Have you guys been able? I know you had some tough luck down in Florida. Is there any plans to run the late model at all this year when, say, the Lucas shows come through town, or is that on the back burner now that you got the sprint car?
We're definitely going to run the Lucas Oil shows and possibly the Outlaw show if they have one at Mohawk this year. But mainly we're going to try and run the sprint car as much as we can just because the races are a lot closer.
Yeah, and you got to like that they're only 25 laps, too, and that's got to make it a little bit better, doesn't it?
Actually, it kind of messed with my head a little bit. I'm used to my shortest race being 30 laps in a regular modified race, and, we got done with our 25 laps, and I was ready for another 20 at least.
How tough is it being a student? You're going to school up there at SUNY Canton. How tough is it to be a student and trying to race as much as you race?
It's definitely pretty hard just because trying to get the homework done and missing a couple classes, every other week, and that kind of gets to be a pain, but most of the teachers I got up there, professors, are pretty cool with it, and they help me out.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do the professors handle that one? I know I've had a couple of kids that go racing. I'm like, well, okay, you're going racing. I guess I can let that slide this time, but it's definitely something to think about. Now, back at the shop, how do you maintain all these race cars? I mean, I know you got some help there, but how tough is it, maintaining the modified and then trying to go over and get the sprint car ready and get everything ready to go racing when you guys do double duty like you do so much?
Oh, it's not too bad. I mean, I've got Rob Heil and Scott Jeffrey at the shop. Scott's, working on Billy stuff, and Rob takes care of mine. But if, either one of us gets done early, we help the other out. And I've got Marty Mers. He comes up once or twice a week to work on the sprint car. He kind of worked out a deal with Dad on that whole part of the racing end. And, it's not too bad. When I ran my Sportsman, I ran 96 races in 1 year when I was a junior in high school. And that was by myself. I'd go to the track with Mom and Dad and pull in if I got a flat.
That was one more question I wanted to ask you. Well, first off, we ask everybody on here, how many races you got on the schedule this year? I'll ask you that. And hopefully the other one I was going to ask you comes back to me.
If I had to throw a number out there without rainouts, I'd say it's probably right around 120, 130.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's some racing.
That's racing for sure.
Yeah. And that's driving everything under the sun. All right, I remember my last question for you. How much easier has it made it for you to make that transition to big block modifieds? Having Pat Ward and Billy Decker as teammates, and Scott Jeffries there in the shop, guys that have a ton of knowledge about modified racing. We've watched you come up through the ranks now and progress to the big block modifieds. How nice has it been to have them there to talk to and to bounce ideas off of and to work with?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, I'd be nowhere near where I am today if it wasn't for Pat and Billy helping me out and everyone else at the track that's helped me throughout the years. But really, I think the key to my success so far this year is I'm kind of trying to do my own thing and trying my own setups with the race cars, trying to fit my own driving style instead of trying to copy Pat or Billy where I have in past years.
Well, that makes sense. He got the knowledge now. Might as well put it to use.
Everybody's got a different style, and one thing that works great for somebody doesn't mean it's going to work great for somebody else.
That's correct. Now, who's catching the bigger fish out there? That's my question.
Right now, I think Tom's got everyone beat with sunfish.
Well, Larry, thanks for being on the 31st lap, and we'll let you get back to fishing. Enjoy your night, and we look forward to seeing you with a sprint car here real soon.
Thank you. We'll try to put on a show.
All right. Again, Larry Wight joining us here on the 31st lap, and we do want to thank him again for taking the time out to chat with us. And how about that? Turning the on-off switch as the throttle is stuck wide open.
Jeez, I don't think Rich ever went that fast to have to worry about it.
No, and I tell you right now, if I'd have got to that point, there would have been one flip of the switch, and that would have been it.
One flip of the switch and one load in the pants.
Would have been. No, it would have been in the exact reverse order. Loading pants.
Then a flip of the switch.
Flip of the switch. This is bad.
Yeah. I couldn't resist that. It was just right there.
I wonder if he needs a ride-along in any of those 120, 130 road trips.
Well, you want to ride in the hauler?
Yeah, if he needs somebody to keep him awake, I'm available.
Dude, who are you kidding? You just want to go sit
I just want to go to the race.
He wants to sit in the spare car up top and take a nap until they unload.
Listen, I've had a friend, that wanted to go to the races so bad. They didn't have any room in the truck, so they put him in the enclosed trailer, and he sat in the race car. That was not a good experience, he said.
Oh, God,
I can't imagine it would be.
Free ride, though.
It's a free ride, but he puked all the way down. And it was 110 degrees outside.
It's going to be hot as hell. There's no air.
I'll tell you what, that's dedication.
Dark. Oh
yeah.
Lord. Yeah. I think I'd rather ride on the top.
At least you're getting some air. I'm going to suffocate. I might as well be outside.
Strap me to the top of it.
Like the guys do with the sprint car wing, just wrap some stuff around me. Oh, man. Wow.
I wouldn't advise trying that at home either.
No, just not a good idea.
So you know.
Not a good idea.
There's nothing good coming.
Well, that was good. I enjoy getting a different perspective, and it's fun to get somebody on like that races so many different cars.
Well, he was, if I remember right, back in I think he won a race at Black Rock in his rookie year, and he continues to be the only driver that's ever won a Sportsman, big block, and small block race in the same season.
I'm not sure. That I would have to look. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure
he's reading that somewhere.
He might be.
He might have. Now that you say that,
might be it for the recent history. Anyway, I don't know about.
Yeah, I don't know
how far back we're going, but
in the same year. I'm sure there's people that have won in all divisions.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shepard's
yeah.
won in all divisions.
I mean,
Fast.
Shepard's won in all divisions at Syracuse alone.
Yeah.
So,
For those of,
whoa, he's not winning a pro stock.
put,
I got technical.
I stand corrected.
Thank you.
But let's get him a pro stock ride, and I bet you good money he wins it.
I don't know if Rocky Winter's there. It'll be tough.
We'll have to arrange to get him in Rocky's car.
Rocky has been good. Rocky will not be in the
Sportsman this
He's
year.
running a Sportsman.
Yeah.
Depends on how desperate Nick's Cafe is to put a pro stock in victory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you give him that, and he's gonna get it done.
I got some updates from Malta. If you guys
Malta.
wanna
How
hear
about the car count of Malta tonight? The first night back on the race, 35 modifieds,
35 mods.
57 Sportsmen.
58 now. It's up to
58.
58.
Holy cow!
17 4-cylinders. They got the
Slow hauled in
Sportsman
late.
heats. Sportsman heats are in. Joey Budka, Jeff Rockefeller, Derek McGrew, Fred Proctor, Frank Horde the third.
Wow.
And Joey Scarborough won the rookie Sportsman feature. I don't look at me.
I wonder
like
if it's
that, 'cause I have
Don
no idea.
Scarborough's.
Could be.
Really,
He's
it's got.
either-
I bet you he's from Vermont.
He's got, well, yeah.
Because it
he's
seems
gotta
like
be.
everybody with the last name Scarborough is from Vermont.
And he could be related to Donnie.
Donnie, John, who
I don't know
knows?
how Donnie is. He's been racing for a long time.
I don't know. So
But,
that's
yeah, he
that's
won
Malta,
the
and again,
rookie
that's
Sportsman.
Malta's first night back on the dirt. So
Yeah.
everybody's excited to open the doors there. I mean, I'm sure there's some big names there in the modifieds. I have not seen a list because obviously we're on our way out here. When
If we get modified results before we go off, I'll
we'll make sure we share what we got.
throw them
but,
out there.
Well, we'll just keep jabbering on until the feature's
I know.
over.
Yeah,
I
all right.
do
We'll
know-
be here till midnight if you need us.
I do know the two outsiders that I had heard that were there before I had left the house were T-Mac and Stewie, which doesn't surprise me. T-Mac,
No,
that
it's racing and-
4-star team, that was their home track.
That was
on
home
Friday
track, so
night
why not
before,
go?
so-
And where else is T-Mac racing tonight? So you might as well.
yeah, and I don't know if he has plans to hit in the Lucas Oil shows the next 2 nights.
Right. Who
In
knows?
PA and in Hagerstown. He might be there tomorrow too. Then I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yep. You never know. Update. What is it? I saw some updates on Tim Fuller this week. He's going to be running more.
Yeah, he's
close
got a
to
great
home.
deal going on this weekend.
Yeah, he's going to run
great opportunity.
the Rocket House car.
Yeah.
The Josh Richards.
'Cause
Basically, it's Josh Richards' ride normally,
Yeah.
and he's going to drive
He's
that.
in the
and,
Ernie Davis car. Kid
right,
Rocket
and
is.
Kid Rocket's in the Ernie Davis 25.
Yep.
Josh Richards at the World Finals last year said that they were going to park that house car and make it an all-star ride or a celebrity ride.
Yeah,
Whoever
well,
wanted
hey.
to pick it up.
It's
Hey.
a
Tim Fuller,
great
jump in and go
opportunity
fast.
for him.
Yeah,
I hope
absolutely.
he has a little.
I hope he does well.
Success this
Yeah, I
weekend.
mean, we want him to do well.
'Cause, you know,
He could use it
if-
right now.
Yeah, he needs to pick me up.
absolutely.
Things
And
didn't
if
go well at Canandaigua for his modified outing either.
No.
if things take off like Kid Rocket would like it to at some point and get in his foot,
He's going to end up being
a
out.
full-time deal in NASCAR,
Right, NASCAR,
like he
right.
wants to. That ride, if Fuller auditions well with it this weekend or in future dates,
You never know. Maybe.
who knows? He could be the driver of that
next
car.
guy.
Because before Kid Rocket came along, that car's always had different guys.
Right.
I mean, Francis has driven it, a
Right.
host of others.
And
It's a great
It'd
car.
be interesting. You know, what happened with Josh
Yeah,
Richards in
it's a
NASCAR?
great
Wasn't
car.
he supposed to? Was it Kyle Busch?
He was
And then
supposed to be
something
running
fell
for
through
Kyle Busch,
in the
well,
truck
then
series,
Loeffler
wasn't
came
it?
along with General Dollar.
And then that in the truck
or
series.
Dollar General.
Dollar
there
General,
as
yeah.
a sponsor, and Kid Rocket was out because Loeffler had more money to bring
Right,
to the
and
table.
that's how the rides are now.
Absolutely.
How much money can you bring to the
Welcome
table?
to NASCAR.
Yeah, that was basically what was it? Clint Boyer was going to stay or go to Richard Childress, or that's where he was.
He was.
He was
and,
at
and it wasn't enough money that
Childress is the one that brought him up.
right. Then it was
Right.
5 Hour Energy wasn't going to give him enough money, so he said, "Fine, I'll go somewhere else," and that's why he ended up over at Michael Waltrip. And how about Michael Waltrip Racing? They've been
They have been superb.
superb, yeah.
This season.
No, they
All
have,
3 cars.
yeah, very good cars.
Yes.
So they're,
I'm glad for Mikey. He's a good. I almost said that word.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
you can.
You can say shit, John.
He's a good
yeah.
shit.
Oh, there it is.
It's okay.
Look how red you're turning. Oh my God.
Dude, you have no
It's like
idea
you
how
got
hard
away
I've been
with
trying to hold back
Hey.
these last 5 weeks and not swearing.
Somebody get
It's
a
very
$20
hard.
bill for the cuss jar.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, Michael's a good dude, and I'm glad that things are going well at MWR, and they deserve it. He deserves it.
It's also nice to see another viable race team.
Yes, because let's face it, the big 3 or 4 teams are just dominating everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Even
I
Ganassi's
think
not even
once
effective anymore.
Waltrip. I mean, they haven't been in NASCAR that long.
No, it's only been a few years.
Yeah, I mean, once they get established, you give them 10, 15 years in the sport, like all these other teams have been around forever.
Well,
You give them that chance to get everything where it needs to be. You can't just come into NASCAR and just bam.
God, no.
I mean, Tony Stewart's the exception to the rule on that deal.
Well, and he bought in.
He's running Hendrick stuff. It's not like they're designing their own stuff.
Granted, they got to set the cars up and all that.
They've got to do the work still, but he bought into an existing team and made a deal with Hendrick cars. I mean, he's driving the back.
Right. Over. Yeah.
So,
but Michael, he's done a really good job. He's brought over these last few years of being in existence. He's brought over some good people, and I think one of the big differences. This is just my opinion. This season, it's made them show up better. Is the fact of bringing over Clint Boyer and Mark Martin on a part-time basis.
Bringing some names.
They bring a lot of experience, especially Mark Martin. A lot of experience to that organization.
Michael's got a gift for gaining sponsorship. He's a hell of a spokesperson.
Sponsors love that dude.
I mean, and of course it's a family thing because they didn't call his brother Jaws for nothing.
Yeah, people think he's goofy, and he is goofy, but he's great. He's a sponsor's dream.
He's goofy, but even race fans that are sitting next to somebody who's not a fan and would have no clue,
right?
They know that's Michael Waltrip,
yeah.
and they associate him with whatever sponsor he's standing in front of at the time. Aaron's,
Best Western, Napa. I mean,
you name it, and they're bringing it in. So it's good to see them competing as well as coming up as a team.
I'm glad to see them running well. Now, if Ganassi could get their crap together, it'd be.
It's also nice to see somebody that's not quite so transparent or vanilla, the way that so many different people are with the NASCAR operation as a whole.
Yeah.
And Canassi's doing fine. They're the only team that's had anybody hit a jet dryer this year.
They're 1 for 1.
They're leading the league in that category.
I still want to see Richard Petty Motorsports come back and be good.
I do.
They're just
they have the occasional decent run, but
but they just what's up with the 2 car this year? Brad Keselowski. That team is they have not had a good start.
He's done all right. He won a race, didn't he? He's won already this year.
Yeah, wasn't that the Nationwide?
Keselowski won a race.
Was that the Nationwide or was that the Cup?
No, he won.
Yeah, but the last couple
Bristol,
races,
wasn't it? And he won Bristol.
Bristol, yeah, that's right. But the last couple of races, they have not done.
No, but
they've had stupid little problems.
Had some decent runs.
Yeah, but stupid little problems.
The season off well. And
the but I'm saying as of late,
the Nationwide car has been real strong, but they've had failures.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm saying the last couple, both. It's been Cup and Nationwide. Yeah, same thing. Just stupid little problems. I mean, AJ Allmendinger's having the same thing.
Almost won the other day, or a week or two ago.
He almost won Martinsville.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It all blurs together, man.
It does. I don't even remember
the whole Penske operation is getting ready to go back to Ford.
Yeah, at the end of the year.
Don't even get me started on that.
You going to cry, John?
I'm a Mopar.
I know. You're a Mopar.
What the hell?
I take after my old man.
Jesus Christ. You can't stay in a Dodge for nothing.
Bullshit.
Wow, what is this? Like, let's see how much Steve Poirier drops the word ass on here. Now all of a sudden it's a free-for-all.
There's a lot of ass kicking going on during that interview.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was an awesome interview.
Yeah. You know what? I was going to ask him, and I forgot to.
One of the few words I understood.
Yeah.
Listen, he speaks better English than a lot of people.
He speaks better English than I do.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, he speaks more English than most people. Let's say about 12% of the population, or probably even more than that right now.
You ever been to a good dirt track? That's good English right there.
I like.
You went to a convenience store. He speaks better English too.
I like Dean Reynolds, Mallet and Me. He writes all the press releases. You figure you're talking about the good English. At least you could get a reasonable.
Yeah, well, hey, listen. That's why they have that little green thing that underlines it in Word to tell you it's wrong.
I went into Rite Aid the other day, a couple of days ago, to get some beer.
Seriously?
And the girl behind the register, where's she from? Greece.
That's impressive.
Nobody's from
Greece.
America.
We're not even from America, technically.
I am. I was born here. You might not be, but I am.
I was born.
I done did get born here.
Okay, we're done.
We've been done for a while.
Let's keep this thing off the wall here.
What do we got left? We got mailbag here or anything, or what?
Please. Please.
Yeah, I know.
Please.
Yeah.
We'll have a big one next week.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want, you can talk about the 4 Wide Nats. Did you watch them? I know Mike didn't.
I did not. I don't watch drag racing.
Did one of you guys watch the 4 Wide Nats?
Yeah, I blinked and I missed the whole deal, so I just kept going.
Oh, I love that event. I got to go there one day.
I did catch some of it.
Have you ever been to an NHRA?
I've never been to an NHRA race.
Oh, my God, dude. It's insane. Insane.
It's 6 seconds of Zoom. Done.
It's not 6 seconds either. Try 3.5.
Staging through, they're done.
I'm telling you, it's amazing.
The power is impressive.
It will blow your mind. When they fire those up, you will be blown away. Blown away. The best part is being in the pits.
No, the best part is being on my couch.
Mailbag.
That's how you change it. The next topic.
Every grandstand seat comes
Hey,
with a
did
pit
you
pass.
not hear?
Yeah,
I did.
That's mailbag. That means it's time for those questions. That means
mailbag,
stop talking
ball
about
bag,
whatever you want to
whatever
talk
you want.
about. We're going to the mailbag.
Chris's music.
I was gonna let this shit bounce off the wall for a few minutes.
As long as it
No,
don't
actually,
stick.
Man, this is a-
we had something that Mike and I talked about this through the course of the week. That somebody said after that second interview, you guys always kind of hit and miss on all sorts of different stuff, but you never really get into anything. It would be nice if you guys would pick something and debate it and talk about it.
I think what we
really
should
get
do
into,
is have people that listen to the podcast or people that like us on Facebook go on to Facebook and tell us some of the topics that you would like us to talk about. What are some of the things? You know, this segment could be yours. You tell us what you want us to talk about. You want us to debate. What do you want us to throw out there? I mean, we have a lot of ideas and things that...
we put some feelers out, and we've come up with a couple of them. One of them is talk about some local racing. Craig Ravel says we should talk about Brewerton and Can-Am openers this weekend. Brewerton and Can-Am opening. So there you go, Craig. Back to what we were talking about.
I mean...
And Malta opening.
Yeah, I mean, we got Malta opening. I got the heat winners for the first two heat races, but
the debates, some of the things we could talk about, some of the ideas that have been thrown out there. Sprint cars versus modifieds. We've done that before, and now we've got a different perspective on it with John here. That'd be something we could get into.
Yep.
Yeah, but he doesn't count.
Listen.
Is this
stay on topic.
Is this part of the country truly modified country? Because you look at the influx of sprint cars, and you look at even the way that some of the late model divisions are gaining ground. Is this truly still modified country anymore? One of them that kind of came in together, I thought they paired well. Why go to the races? Which I thought was a good one. Why bother?
Well, because you can sit now and... Yeah, that's something.
And second, why go to the races? Is it because you go for the racing, or is it because you go for the crashes?
Right.
And somebody had also mentioned sprint cars, same thing. Do you go because you want to watch the racing, or do you go because you want to see the crashes? Tire rules, home track points. This is all stuff that we've
hit on and talked about.
But we haven't really developed any type of argument. And I think that each week one of you should take one of the topics, and you get a few minutes at the top of the segment. You argue your point, and then we rip you apart after. I think.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Fantastic.
But here's the thing: you got to take.
Wonderful.
Here's
John,
what you have to do,
first.
though, to make this more fun for us: is you have to take the point that you don't want to take.
Oh, you got to argue the point that
you do
don't care
not
to.
want. Like when we talk about home track points, we all agree that we hate them, but one of us will have to take the bullet for that one and say, "All right, I'm on board with home track points."
Sounds like you just.
Why do we have to do that?
You just
because here's
what
the thing.
kind of show is it? If we're all going to
if we're all going to sit here and agree and
but if it's not
and blow
real,
smoke up each other's asses, it's my turn to swear.
Listen,
What's the point? There we go. All right, we got it out there.
if it's not real, what good is it though?
Yeah, but still,
gotta be believable.
you know what though? It's just like when I do a topic in school. You got to have both sides of the story. You can't just pick one side. You got to talk about both. And I mean, that's the one thing I've heard that people compliment us on is that we do talk about both sides of the story. We always try to give fair play to both sides, whether we agree or not. We still try to do that. But I think it's more fun, and I think it's more of a challenge. Make it that.
I think with the four of us, I don't think we'll probably be unanimous every time.
Oh, we are on a lot of things.
We are on a lot of things, but you made a point of if it's not real, it's not good.
It's got to be believable. If you
no, and I disagree. Howard
Come on,
Stern,
how do you think
Howard
those guys
Stern made a living off straight BS. Nothing that. Who gives a crap?
And how do you think politicians get by? They're all full of crap.
America's Got
Screw
talent.
him. I got the First Amendment right. I'll say anything I damn well please.
But he got one in.
Well, if damn counts
oh,
for
no,
my
he,
swear
no,
word,
he
that's
already.
bullshit.
There it is.
There we
go.
Now we're all
what
on the
are
board.
we doing?
Good.
He said it
We're going to lose people now because they got their kids listening, and we're.
Listen, anybody that's going to put their kids listening to me, foolish.
Yeah.
Downright foolish.
That's okay. I say this to my kids all the time. But yes, we're going to work on that. That's something we're going to try to come up with is some topics to debate. We want to have that last segment right before mailbag or maybe after mailbag.
It'd probably work out after mailbag.
Yeah, and just send us topics you want us to talk about.
I think that's the way to go.
There's 149 of you on Facebook that like us. Use the page and
if you want to go on Dirt Track Digest, start a topic. We have our thread every week, and
you get rid of all our family members, and it leaves 100. There's still 100 of you out there. What
yeah,
are you doing?
That's fine.
Give us something. I mean, do you want us to talk about the different sprint car groups? What World of Outlaws versus local sprint cars? I mean, all these different things that we could do. The crate late model division versus pro stocks, things like that.
Crate late models are way better. I will argue that all day.
Okay, but listen, I'm just saying in general. There's so much we can talk about, lots of topics, but we want to know what you want us to talk about. I mean, we're somewhat knowledgeable. Let's not push it. But
don't.
I said somewhat. Okay. I was excluding you and John.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome. don't laugh. He's telling the truth, John.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to be. So,
no, it would be nice to get a little feedback from you, the listener, the viewer, so that we're entertaining you. That's the point of being here.
Well, one of the advantages of doing what we're kind of talking about doing with that is that, you look at the multimedia stuff that we're working with and some of the different things that we're trying and stuff like that, and the live interaction that we have. We can interact with anybody that's watching or listening or anything like that. On top of that, we're not like some of the other programs that are on and talking about racing. We're
fluent, man.
We don't come in and just automatically agree with each other because you're the smartest guy in the room. Yeah, no,
we don't.
It doesn't work.
It's
like
more
that.
fun not to agree.
Well, yeah, that's the good part about sitting and talking racing is you're going to argue.
I think the 13 viewers watching us now probably want to agree, but 12 viewers that are watching us.
Yeah,
11.
See, this is why we're losing
10
late in the show.
Losing them.
Yeah. So is that what we got? What's next? We got to pick our driver of the week, or you got something else?
Well, I did want to just mention quick. Billy Dunn is going to be joining us next week, so we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a really
Talking
good time.
sprint cars and modifieds.
We talked about Tom Ames at the beginning, and again, our condolences go out to him. Craig Ravel also wanted to share that Bob Lodge from 730 Truck Stop passed away this week.
Another big supporter of racing. That's another very sad loss to the racing community.
That is a tough loss, and so we'll be thinking of him and Tom both. This weekend is the Grand Opener for Watkins Glen. The Toyota Green Grand Prix is returning. They've got all sorts of cool stuff going on down there, so make sure you jump online and check them out. Be supportive of that. You can take your car around the track. There's all sorts of road rallies and endurance type programs going on.
Isn't it only like $25 or something?
Yeah, it's
pretty cheap. I was listening to that, heard it on the radio this morning. I'm like, whoa, that's awesome.
$25 is not much.
Yeah, to take my Cavalier around there, that'd be scary. I don't even know if I can make it.
www.theglen.com. Go on there, check it out, support them. It's really cool what they're doing. It's all sorts of being green, not leaving a carbon footprint. That's always a good move.
Did you see the latest news with the Carousel Mall? They're bringing in
go-karts.
Go-karts.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Absolutely legit electric go-karts.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's not a slick track.
It's not a slick track. That sucks. I like Canastota.
It's still awesome, though.
It's awesome that there's going to be go-karts in the mall.
Yeah.
Because you think about all the other things that are going to be there.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a combination.
Yeah.
You can go dancing.
You can go to
have an adult beverage and then go race go-karts. Because that's...
Aren't you worried about bouncing off of the
Isn't there going to be actually
carousel horses, though?
No, the hell with them.
And there's going to be what? Isn't there going to be a bowling alley in there, too?
There's a big, huge bowling alley.
Think about this. You could have some freaking...
Toby Keith bar.
Yeah, you could have an awesome time in there. That's basically what the new section is entertainment.
Yes.
So how far away from State Fairgrounds is that?
Not
far at all. You can see it.
Dude, that's a.
You can just about see it across.
During Super Dirt Week, you better say, "Listen, we need you open about 2:30 in the morning. We need something to do."
That's what I'm thinking.
That might be a good idea for them to actually stay open.
I think we're going to have an outing once that does open.
I don't think they know what they just did.
Yeah. Yep.
I think they should be a sponsor to our show. That's what I think.
That'll go really well all the way up until they let us race on that track.
Yeah,
they're gonna
until you destroy one cart and we got to pay for it.
Yeah, John. I'm sure Super Dirt Week is going to use a sponsor to this show.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the mall.
I'm talking about the go-kart track. Where the hell are you?
Well, we're just making fun of you.
We're just picking on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The go-kart track would be a good sponsor.
I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah, I like it.
Great idea.
I know the slick tracks, Canastota's fun, and there's one in Fonda too, right up by the racetrack. Check us out.
Yeah.
Even the crappy go-kart tracks I still like.
Still fun. I miss Northgate. That was my favorite, the one down in Binghamton. Because it had a flat track and then it had a banked turn, so you could... Yeah, it was awesome.
There's one of those on 31 in Macedon, and there's another one that used to be open. It's closed now on 318, right in the outlet mall. They're closed, though. They had a big crossover and stuff, and...
Those are always fun. I don't like the road courses as much because I have no talent for that. I can't turn both ways. I go left, man.
I'm a slick track guy.
Left only. Yeah.
I'm a slick track guy myself.
I had a ball driving the road course out there at 318 one time, and I'm trying like crazy to get by this dude who's in a two-seater, which is enormous, and this little blonde
You got to bump him.
And man, I'm dive bombing the corners, and I'm getting cut off and shoving in the wall, and this guy keeps looking over his shoulder. He's cursing me out and everything in front of his kid. I'm like, if you move over and let me by, we won't have this problem. But,
I'd have dumped him.
His kid is having a ball. He's laughing
because he's getting beat up. Oh yeah, yeah. what was it? There's one down by Lincoln Speedway. We went down there one time and ran.
Yeah, been to that one.
We ran
indoors and
they have
outdoors.
indoor
They have a slick track,
indoor slick track, outdoor slick track, circle tracks, and then they have a huge road course
Yes.
too. Like all of the above, basically.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
First time I ever ran go-karts was at Darien Lake. You ever been?
I've never been to Darien Lake.
I'm not allowed on those anymore.
I was on that once when I was a kid. That's a road course
you
too.
break them. We had them stacked up over the tires, 2, 3 on top. It was bad.
I used to race on a slick track weekly in a league at Lebanon Valley.
Oh, really?
I did the same thing at Canastota with Dean and
10 years.
with a bunch of race car drivers, which made it fun. Willie Decker was always there. Matt Jensen came once in a while. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was fun.
They had down in Canisius, Minahans they had a racing league.
Minahans, sure, yeah.
Minahans.
Okay. It clicked.
Now,
I remember hearing about that place when I worked in Avon.
Yeah, little batting cage golf course.
Avon?
Avon.
Avon.
Yeah.
Oh,
same
Avon,
difference.
he sold. He sold the cosmetics.
town Avon.
He did. No, he still does.
knew?
No, but what they had was it was semi-banked, and they had painted the insides of the corner. I'm like, oh, that's
good
cool.
when it rains. You got to put water on it.
No, they would spray silicone on it right before you went out. So you'd go out and it would like ice skating.
Yeah, well, that's the way it should be.
That's awesome.
Negative.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Negative.
Slick track.
No.
Dude, you weigh more. You should be able to stick the tires.
Yeah, no. They
at
go
Lebanon Valley?
faster
See,
through the
Canastota,
slick.
they did kind of the same thing. They put it down, but it was nice because you'd run a few laps through it, and you'd get like a cushion almost.
Yeah.
Where you could go in. If you're below it, you're good.
Right.
But you get up
If
above
you're above it,
you're
you're
gone.
toast.
So you go in the corner, and you kind of bump that guy, and you shove him up
shove
a
him
little
up
bit.
lane, yep.
And he goes slide on the wheel spin. You're like, see ya.
See, what we used to do is there was probably a 5-foot path up around the outside of the paint. You just run your tires, your left side or your right side's way up over the top, and everybody'd slick course. They'd slide straight into you, but
It was fun.
You got to run the Harry Gant line at Bristol, right?
Yeah, bouncing off the wall.
right around the top, you got to duck them as they're shooting up at the wall on the way out.
At Lebanon Valley, the 10 years I ran the league there, I don't know, any of the listeners have been at Lebanon Valley, they know the go-kart track is right out there on Route 20 by the parking lot. And in the corners, they would put a driveway sealer down. And then Scott, Commander, Howie's son, he's the one that ran the whole thing. He had, around the outside of the guardrail, he had a hose hooked up with holes poked in the hose. So he'd have running water that would constantly be running across each end of the racetrack, across that sealer. So when you hit it, it was like driving on ice. But he had to do that because when he first started that league, it was dry, and it was everybody's just hugging the bottom rail, huggy pole. All the way
that's
around.
no fun.
There was no passing, so they came up first. They tried the powder. They throw the white powder on.
Powder
there,
works
powder.
for
that shit gets in your eyes. You can't see. It was
Burns like
terrible.
hell.
It does burn.
It was awful.
Did they try the stuff
then
you
he
use on?
One night it rained, and they decided to keep racing in the rain. So then the light bulb went off. Next week he hooked up a hose and. Now they had running water every week. There was running water. Across
That's awesome,
and it was awesome because we didn't rain out unless it was lightning.
Yeah, that's cool.
We raced in the rain. Who cares?
That's awesome
because you need the water anyway.
Yeah,
and it opened the racetrack right up. Everybody was slipping and sliding, and
that makes everything better. I mean, you can't have.
I won a championship there twice.
That means nothing.
I was a professional.
Yeah, John.
That means nothing.
You're sitting in the presence of a World of Outlaws champion.
I'm multi-time World of Outlaws
5-time. Thank you. 5-time.
I don't think I'm only 4.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I've had that game for 12 years.
Hey, I can go into history books as a 2-time Lebanon Valley champion.
That's true. It's true. We do have to.
Did you get the $8,000 check that comes with it?
Unfortunately,
no, you did not.
Nope, but it got legend and own mine status.
Yes,
I did get money though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you pay money every week to race,
we had
right?
money like in our 50-50,
Yeah.
just like the regular racetrack.
Yeah.
And they would give us a free go-kart party for you can invite 20 of your friends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I want to
for a whole Saturday afternoon. Or
That's
whatever.
awesome.
It was
I used to love those where you go and you get 2. Our league would be you show up, you go out and you do time trials. You get 5 laps of time trials, and then you get 2 50-lap races. So that you get to run. If you get a crappy cart the first time, wherever you finish, you switch with the guy that finished the exact opposite of you. So if you were 8th, you get the first place cart. And you get to start on the pole for the next race. So that was always good. It kind of at least give you some incentive, but it also showed me that I'm not that good.
Right.
Because, Willie Deckard would win with this cart, and then I'd go get in it, and he'd pass me with the cart I was just in.
Yeah, we always,
after starting on the pole.
We would always draw out of a can a specific cart, and whatever cart you got.
That's
how we started it. Yeah, that was how the first race went for time trials. You'd pick the ping pong ball out of the bin, and whatever number you got, that's the cart you got. So
I've got all that stuff, too, for for all the videotaping with Smashed Empire Films, so we could tape a lot of this and put it up on YouTube and stuff.
I do have an in-car camera.
Yeah.
From when I went out to Knoxville.
Yeah,
a couple years ago, and we ran go-karts, him and I, and I put an in-car camera in my go-kart. It was awesome.
I kicked
It was
his ass.
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think so. You were awful.
Oh, please.
Speaking of that, we did that one time. I was working at James River Equipment down in Roanoke, and there was one, and the owner periodically would take each store out for a party or whatever, and we went to the go-kart track, and I was new in the area, and Josh French caught me coming out of turn 2 in the right rear corner so hard I picked the cart up off the ground. He shoved me in the fence and almost threw me out of the cart.
That's awesome.
I got a free. The only thing I ever won from my league was a free escort to the door for doing something very similar.
Yeah, we used to beat the carts up a bit.
Yeah,
you got the heat race updates because
I races.
Yeah, I got the first 3 too.
We've stalled enough now.
No, it's you want me to do it or you got it?
Doesn't matter.
I got Todd Stone winning heat 1, Stu Friesen winning heat number 2, and Matt D. Lorenzo winning heat number 3.
Yeah, and the car count for modifieds went from 35 to 34.
34.
No.
Oh, did they lose one?
It must be. It's just
They made
34.
Donnie
Man down.
Made Donnie trailer up. Couldn't maintain speed, Mike.
Just for you.
Yeah, okay.
DS50.
You got it every week we're going to do this
Couldn't
now?
maintain the pace.
Every week.
It's kind of like when you say I hate NASCAR.
Ugh. You know what? I'd rather talk NASCAR than that.
See, now you've just
And now I've even
prioritized
guaranteed
where
it.
I'm going to fire it at you
Yeah,
every week.
okay, we're good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
topics. Send us topics on
Topics,
Facebook.
please.
topics.
There we
So
go.
we don't sit here and do this.
All right, driver of the week, eh?
Driver of the week. What do you got?
I'm going to go with...
I know what he's
driver of the week.
I know
Hey.
what he's going to say.
No,
Content.
no, I'm not going to pick Hodnett. I'm going to go with Matt Shepard.
That's a good pick.
Does he won 2?
He won Glenridge and he won Canandaigua. Yep.
Does that trump back-to-back for...
Well, if you're going back-to-back, Billy Pouch has got 2 at New Egypt, and I think the competition in New Egypt is much harder than Grandview.
Got quiet over there.
Well,
Orange
as
hat.
much as it pains me, I guess I got to go with the Bloomer, starting from Concy, winning
that. That's
the
not
20
bad.
grand in Virginia.
That's not a bad pick either.
I was going to swing with Larry White this week for running
Sprint
the
car
last
race.
2 laps in
Wow.
the second time in a sprint car and getting the throttle hung wide open.
Nah, not bad.
That,
not bad a pick either.
That's mine.
You said
You're
who?
next.
I went with Shepard for 2 wins.
You went with Shepard for 2 wins. He's local. Larry's local. Your guy's national. This is a local show, so your vote gets canceled. Now we got it down to these 2.
Well, and I heard the race at Glenridge was unbelievable. It was him, Stuart Friesen, and Bobby Barron, like all over each other.
I read that too.
And I still don't think any of their throttles were hung wide open.
No, well,
Well, he used the switch to flip it on and off to race the last 2 laps.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to break the tie and go Shepard.
See how you
he
are?
got you.
Yep.
Your pick sucks. Your hat sucks. I told you earlier, at least your shirt's nice.
Yeah, maybe you should stop flogging Molly.
Your mic's muted.
You're done. Oh, he is the
told
producer.
you sucked.
Yeah. So, well, there it is.
We got anything else?
I think I'm good.
No?
I'm
That's
set.
it? Everybody?
Yep.
I guess we're good.
We never even did do the drops, but I guess we're going to go ahead and just pretend that
We did checkers and wreckers, so
we did.
I was happy. That's the one I want. I'm happy with that.
We got a couple of them in,
What
so can't really go wrong with that.
What's coming up this week? Anything?
We got a couple openers. We'll talk about Brewerton and Can-Am coming up next week. Billy Dunn's with us. We'll talk with him. Nothing major. I guess if that's how you feel. Mike Mallett, Rich Post.
Shut up.
John Bonus. I'm Chris Marquardt. Thanks for hanging out with us on the 31st.